Her gaze met Widlowski's as the music flowed around, his fingers manipulating the chords and riffs. Widlowski held Beata's gaze, nodding infinitesimally. Widlowski looked up, enraptured. She still had it. Her voice was delicate, but it built up in strength as the song went on. Jimmy appeared on the screen. Then the music faded out, and Widlowski sighed in dismay at the momentary silence around the room. They wouldn't know talent even if it had stared them all in the face. Widlowski walked with Beata back to their table, knowing he looked as flushed as she did, but he couldn't help his beaming grin. He hadn't believed her for 1 second about not singing. It wasn't the kind of skill that one could simply retain without at least some focus on training it, honing it. Widlowski wondered how often she sang. Did she do it when she was alone? Had she done it for her mysterious daughter? Or did she sing for Haritonov? Widlowski found out that he didn't care. Not now. Not after that performance.
Stop looking at me like that.
Sorry, it's just... I never thought I'd be lucky enough to hear that again.
Oh, shut up.
Her knee brushed up against his. Both felt it, and neither of them did anything to move away from the other. They simply looked at each other, the weight of decades of misfortune and missed opportunities hanging between them.
Why didn't you ever write to me?
I wrote to you. Just once.
You did? I never received it. What did it say?
It's sad. Are you interested in a 12-month subscription to the Rolling Stone magazine?
The server was passing by, and Beata gets her attention.
2 more, please.
She turned back to Widlowski. He smiled. Ladislav sighed as he walked through his bedroom, scratching his back while he passed his bed. His hair was still fresh from the shower, and his clothes felt nice and warm against his skin as he walked out into the living room. Though it was early in the morning, they had things to do today, and he couldn't just lounge around on his bed or the couch all day. He stared at Widlowski where he sat at the bar, nursing a cup of coffee. His clothes were wrinkled, and from the previous day no less, and he looked as if he had been up all night.
Oh, Christ! What time did you come back?
Around, who knows. Haven't banged on your talking wall clock. I might still be a little drunk.
Was this sorrow drowning drunk or celebration drunk?
Widlowski looked up. A grin spread across his face.
I don't believe it.
My little baby Widlowski, all grown up and wrecking homes.
It was just a night out at a club.
Just a night out at a club. And was it worth it? All this sneaking and scheming and flying halfway across the world.
Widlowski raised his hands toward the heavens.
Hallelujah! I think she might sing with us too. Her voice, it's still...
Hey, now that's great news.
Ladislav clapped his hand on Widlowski's back again and guided him to the front door.
Come on, let's get you to jeans before that enthusiasm wears off.
He stalled, though, as a noticeable odor wafted up to his nostrils. Ladislav leaned in close, lifting Widlowski's arm.
You know what? On second thought, I think you've got time for a quick shower.
Widlowski cringed at the dirty, dilapidated hallway they went through, trying to ignore the stench that permeated the air. But it was inescapable, and holding his breath simply wasn't an option for a long time until they finally reached the right floor. They walked forward, and Ladislav glanced to Widlowski, who looked down at the envelope one more time just for good measure. They could hear loud banging and thumping from the other side of the door, and the occasional cymbal crashing. They exchanged a look, completely at a loss for what they had just stumbled on. after their frightening encounter with Margaret. Though Woodlowski supposed it hadn't exactly been frightening for Ladislav.
This the place.
I think so.
For the 1000th time, I'm not gonna quiet down. I could buy this whole goddamn building.
The door opened just a crack, revealing Gene. He's in a soaked wife beater, looking totally out of place after the tailored suit the friend saw him wearing last time. His disheveled hair looked like an illusion after having been perfectly coiffed. Even his voice had grown a gravelly weight to it, compared to the soft, refined tenor he had used back in his office, even when exasperated.
What the hell are you doing here?
That's our question to you.
Cheating on my wife?
Woodlowski tried to push past Gene, but Gene blocked him.
Just railing her. Slamming that headboard into the wall. I'm a hunter, a predator.
Both Woodlowski and Ladislav together shoved past Gene. It was a simple, nondescript apartment. There was a bed and a desk, but what really had their attention was the studio-quality instruments that filled the room. They were worn out, well used really, but expensive and sturdy. Amps, guitars, mics, and mixers clogged up at the center of the room.
I thought you put all that stuff behind you, huh?
I did. I have.
Ah,
I'm a carnivore. My kind, we gotta blow off steam. Some play golf, some hunt lions, some
play drums, huh?
Why do you hide all this from your wife?
You don't understand. She thinks I'm a shark, a killer. It's what attracted her to me in the first place. I'm not some kind of hippy-dippy musician.
Woodlowski picked up drumsticks and handed them both to Gene, who looked at them as if they were the devil incarnate, come to sweep in and take away his nice, comfortable life.
Sure. Now why don't you go back to showing us how much a musician you are not?
Ladislav yanked Gene and ushered him over to the stool in front of his drum set. Gene stared at the drums, but didn't play.
Sorry, guys. The beast is sated.
Woodlowski meandered over Gene's CD collection and found a thundering cover of Your Blues by Lucky Peterson. Gene stared at the drums, his hands hovering over them, the drumsticks gripped tightly.
Your wife flirted with me. Come on!